This is the city. Los Angeles, California. I work here. I'm a cop. It was Wednesday, November 4th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Powers. My name's Friday. A steady supply of obscene literature had been finding its way into half a dozen high schools in the city. We'd gotten a lead on one of the sources of supply, a 17-year-old high school senior. We had to check it out.
There you are. You can see for yourself.
All right, you want to take everything out and lay it on the bench here?
You can see what's in there, can't you? My gym stuff, a couple of textbooks.
What's that back there in the corner, right-hand side?
Where?
You know where I mean. Dig it out.
Oh, back here, you mean, these joke books?
That's right. Let's have a look, huh?
Why? Just a couple of joke books. A kid gave them to me.
Bring them out, Steve.
Okay. Just a couple of them. A kid gave them to me. Here.
There's more than a couple there.
That's what you call a joke book, Steve.
Oh, well, that's what the kids call them. They're not so bad, though.
They're rotten, Steve, and you know it. Now, where'd you get them?
I told you, a kid gave them to me.
Who? What's his name?
Some kid around school. I don't remember right now.
He gave you these books for nothing?
Sure, I had a couple he wanted. We traded off. A lot of the kids have them. We trade them around.
That stack you got there, they look pretty new. They couldn't have been passed around much.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Matter of fact, they look brand new to me. Don't even look like they've been opened yet.
How come you're roasting me on this thing? What about the other kids? They got them, too.
They're buying them, Steve. They're not selling them.
I'm not selling them. Anybody says that's a liar.
Now, both the fellows in the high school and the kids down the street in the junior high, they say you've been selling this stuff for months. Now, how about it?
They're lying, that's all. They don't know what they're talking about.
You've been selling these 35 cents apiece, 3 for $1. Last couple of weeks, you've been peddling pictures, $2 apiece. Any of them in your locker, Steve?
Couple. I got them off another kid.
What other kid? What's his name? Come on, what's his name?
Some kid. I don't remember.
That's not much of an answer, son.
What do you want from me anyway? I told you I'm not selling the books. I don't care what those other goofs say. It's my word against theirs.
Maybe you ought to get this much straight, son. We're not out to get you. You're way down the line. We want the people at the top, the men who print this junk, the wholesalers, the big distributors.
So why ask me? I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
You don't want to cooperate, is that it?
What am I supposed to cooperate about? I'm not mixed up in anything.
We think you are, son. We know you are. Now, who you selling this for? Where do you get your supply?
All you see is what's in my locker. I ain't selling. I don't have any supply. You've got to go far to prove I have.
No, not very far, Steve.
What?
From about here to your home. 11:38 a.m. We picked up the supply of obscene books and photographs to be booked later as evidence. For weeks, we'd known that a steady stream of this type of material was being fed into half a dozen high schools and junior high schools throughout the city. Books, photographs, pictures, and pamphlets of the worst kind. 12:15 p.m. Frank and I drove the suspect, Stephen Banner, to his home, approximately a mile from the high school. On the way, he told us he lived with his sister and brother-in-law. We checked the house thoroughly, but we found nothing. He explained that both his sister and brother-in-law were at work. We went back to check the garage at the rear of the house. All right, how about it, son? You want to show us where the rest of the stuff is now?
What's the use? I guess you'll find it anyway. Right there.
Books. Cases of them. Pictures. Filthy. How about it, son? Your sister and brother-in-law know anything about this?
No, they don't know anything.
All right, you ready to tell us about it?
My sister gonna have to find out?
I don't know, Steve. It's going to be pretty hard to keep it from her.
Yeah, I guess so.
Who's the contact, son? Where'd they come from?
Charlie Hopkins. Only the books, though. Pictures came from another guy. It's a long story.
We got the time, son. Who's this Hopkins?
I met him downtown one Sunday. Penny Arcade on Broadway. Me and this other kid were in there, Bud Spencer. Hopkins came up, started to talk to us.
All right, go ahead, son.
He asked me and Bud if we wanted to sell for him around school.
This friend of yours, Bud Spencer, does he sell them too?
Yeah. He goes to a different school, though. Well, both of us did pretty good with the books. Sold real fast. The pictures were even better.
That's so. Now, you say you didn't get the pictures from Hopkins. It was somebody else?
A man by the name of Jack. I don't know his last name. Hopkins put us on to him, gave us an introduction, set up the deal. We got the pictures for 75 cents. Most of the time, they'd bring us $1.50 apiece. Bud and I did pretty good.
You know any other fellows working for this Hopkins? Any other kids in school, I mean?
No, just Bud and me. That's all I know. Wouldn't be so bad if it was just the books. And lousy Charlie had to go and promote the party routine, get everybody mixed up in that.
How do you mean? What's that all about?
Charlie stays out at this place on Sepulveda. It's a motel. That's where we always contacted him.
Yeah.
After a couple of weeks, when we got to know him, he asked me and Bud out to this place. He said he was going to throw a party. Told us to bring our girlfriends along. Turned out we were the only ones at the party. Me and Bud and the girls and Charlie Hopkins. Well, the party lasted pretty late. I should have been smart enough to figure it out. I wasn't.
How old are your girlfriends, yours and Bud's?
17. They're both 17. They've been around, though. There's no use kidding you. They weren't very smart, I can tell you that. None of us were, I guess. Next couple of parties, Charlie had whiskey there. Dumb girls drank right along with him. So did we.
Does he still throw these Friday night parties, do you know?
Maybe, I don't know. I heard there were a couple after the last one I walked out on. Dumb girls think Charlie's just great. That's why I can't stand the guy.
Now, how about the parties that you didn't go to, Steve? Did you get a rundown on them?
No. Never fails, does it?
What do you mean?
The oldest line in the world, and they still go for it.
Yeah, what's that?
Tell them you're going to get them in the movies.
1:20 p.m. Frank and I took the cases of obscene books and pictures from the garage, loaded them into the back seat of our car, and Stephen Banner directed us to the high school attended by his friend, Bud Spencer. We picked up the Spencer boy and drove him and Banner downtown to Juvenile Division, where we booked them in on 700B, Welfare and Institutions Code, lack of supervision. We drove to the address out on Sepulveda, but the suspect, Charles Hopkins, had moved out 5 days before. No forwarding address. It wasn't a dead end, though. From his registration card, we got the description and license number of his car. We checked out the address of his confederate, the man known as Jack. He'd moved the same day as Hopkins.